Hi everyone, hope everyone is doing well. As per the instructions for our assignment, I got on the internet and I found an informed consent form from a place that I believe is in Georgia. It's Greenleaf Counseling. I really like this particular consent form. It seems pretty thorough and there's a lot of good information in here, and it lays out what's expected from the client and what's expected from the counselor. I made a small outline of it, and I'll just kind of go over some of the parts that I particularly found beneficial. And in the first section of the consent form, the counselor encourages the client to choose his counselor wisely. The counselor wrote out that, now I may not be the best fit for you. We may not be able to work together. So, look into the counselor that you're choosing and choose wisely. I thought that was a good first step for a counselor to write out in their consent form. The section 2 talks about the course of treatment. It discusses, and in the first session, I also like that the counselor points out that we're going to go over this informed consent form together. Then we'll spend 2 to 5 sessions getting to know each other, learning about the client's family and their history. Then we're going to go over some goals and objectives, what you as a client hope to achieve through our sessions, and what my expectations as a client are. It informs the client, I like this part, it informs the client that initiative and involvement is required on his or her part. The counselor doesn't have all the answers, and I can't, as a counselor, do all the work here. It's going to require you to be involved, to be honest, and practice any kind of new ideas that the counselor presents to you that, hopefully will help you. You have to put that stuff into action. Then the consent form goes over some benefits and risks of counseling. A couple of risks, you may recall unpleasant experiences or feelings. And also there's a stigma attached to those who are going to therapy. There's always that. But there's some benefits that may outweigh the risks. Hopefully you'll experience better moods, reduced anxiety, and objectively, you'll have a better relationship with your family or with God. Section 6 goes over the nature of the relationship between the client and the counselor, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Of course, the counselor says that we can't be friends, we can't really exchange gifts and things like that, and certainly no sexual relationship in that. Then it talks about billing and records, formality, things that you need to go over, what's expected in that. And by the way, my source that I chose for this assignment also talked about money, the potential for money to cause strains on relationships, which probably all of us know that from, past experiences. So, the book that I chose said that you really need to lay that out in your informed consent and explain it quite well, what you expect when and then how much and whatever you expect your client to pay. As far as whether or not this consent form lines up with the ACA's and my particular state, which is Tennessee, whether it lines up with their code of ethics, it does. I think it does. Like I said, it's pretty thorough, and it provides a lot of information. And then the counselor spends a good deal of the first session actually going over the consent form. So I think that's a pretty good informed consent form from my perspective. But the source that I chose that had a lot to do with informed consent in chapter 1, it's a book entitled The Counselor and the Law, A Guide to Legal and Ethical Practice. It was written by Nancy Wheeler and Bert Bertram, and it was published in 2019. So you can see it's a relatively new source, and just from what I've seen from it, it seems to be pretty good. I only was able to focus on chapter 1 for the time being, but it had a lot of good stuff. But anyway, there's my form, consent form, and my source. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope maybe, you can look into this source. It seems to be a pretty good book from my perspective. And thank you. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.